introduce yourself, miss.
My name is Alberta Patterson. I am the grandmother of Q-Day Howard.
I thought you were the mama. You told me years ago I could never call you grandmother.
No.
Da, 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 da. If you want some oatmeal and tea, you better call me mama. You never get it ever again. Well, thank you for thank you for coming. And yeah, first another reason for this special, because I feel like a few of my episodes through the years, I feel like I learned something in general, or I can learn something about myself. And I feel this can be one of those situations, because I'm gonna learn something more about you, and then because you're the matriarch of my family in existence, essentially, I'm gonna learn more about myself, whatever. But I feel you can learn something about me as well, whatever, because you don't know what a podcast is, technically, right?
No, I do not.
Don't know what a podcast is. You wasn't exactly sure that. I know you knew I did something, but you wasn't exactly sure what it was really.
Right.
You might also probably don't know that I made an album called We Are Live.
And I don't have it.
I mean, well, yeah, it's kind of complicated. But yes, because I made an album because, on this podcast, I interview a lot of music artists.
Wow.
So I brought them together, made a compilation album, my ideas, essentially, and, came out a couple months ago, whatever. So find it anywhere you stream music at. RightonQuelive, We Are Live album. You tell it to all your church folk and your flea market
My
people.
church people don't want to hear
that. I got Fred Hammond on one of the songs.
Oh, okay, because Mama sang with him, backup singing.
Talk heavy, okay.
Yeah.
Something I did not know, and we off the races.
At the park.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
Okay. So, and also before we really get started, I gotta give credit to Mama, the missus. Because at first, I've always had this idea to have the conversation with you on the show. But I was like, I'm not sure how it's going to go, this and that, whatever. But she recently did like a project, and she interviewed you. And I was like, okay, whatever. Like, however see that go. But then when she told me how it went, I was like, oh, wow. Pleasantly surprised. Like, she still didn't show you, right?
No, she did not.
Yeah, she trashed her. I only saw some of it, whatever. But it turned out pretty well.
Of course it did, because she interviewed Mama.
Talk heavy. All right, talk heavy, queen. So let's get right into your life. So, I feel like as much as you love me, I know as much as I love you, as much time we spent around each other, there's never really anything I've ever asked of you haven't done for me. But I feel like I don't know. I feel like I can know more about you. I feel like I know you, of course. But I feel like we could have more conversations, just know really more about certain views and experiences, stuff like that, whatever. Like, I knew you was from the South. I knew your dad's name. But I feel like I can know more about what exactly happened with him. So, talk more about where you're from, how the time was, all that good stuff.
Gee, really?
What year were you
born?
I
was born May the 29th, 1942. Okay. In South Boston, Virginia.
Y'all got a lot of trash names of cities of Virginia, but, just want to put that out there. South Boston, Newport News, it's just trash.
Virginia, Virgilina. Yes.
Yeah. But, okay,
You've been there. You loved it down there. When Granddaddy was living, you did. Mm-hmm. He was fun. He played with the kids. He loved the kids.
How was your relationship with your dad growing up? Cause I know your mom died.
My mom died. My dad was mommy and daddy. He was great. And he did the best that he could do, being a farmer and a truck driver from Virginia. And I was the boss of my 3 brothers because being the oldest, I had to take care of them.
At such a young age, you did everything.
Yeah, 9 years old. And my baby brother was 2 years old. And I took care of them, made sure they was up, had breakfast, off to school, and then I had to go to school and back home to get dinner and all. Sometimes Daddy was away because he was a truck driver, but just local, not long distance. And he would always tell us what to do, and we did it, not like you kids today.
Oh.
When he told us to do something after school we had chores to do, we did it. And no questions was asked or why. We did it because he said do it.
How do you feel, if any way, that he shapes your idea of like what you will want or look for into a man Or, like, looking at him, did he have some type of effect of, like, what type of man you were looking for and what type of characteristics? Or
He did, but I was disobedient.
So you didn't listen?
I didn't listen.
Oh.
No, I did not.
Oh, so what type of stuff didn't you listen to?
Because he said that my husband wasn't good enough for me. And I thought he was just saying that because I was a girl and
Trying to
home.
protect you.
Yes, trying to protect me. And I just wanted to get married and get out of there, away from around him.
What do you think he saw back then that he felt it was a red flag or signs?
I guess he just didn't like the way he would treat me.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes he would come home. We would go home from Newport News to South Boston, Virginia, and we didn't see him. He would drop me off, and then he would hit the streets, the roads in Virginia, and go. And I also had my daughter, Velma, my oldest daughter, which now you know is deceased, because that's the only child that he wanted, was just that one. But my dad said if I didn't have another one, something would happen to her, because he made a god out of her. People
Something
were
happened
coming.
to her?
Yeah. People was coming to see the baby, Velma, and she was with her dad. And they only saw me. I was sitting on the porch with Daddy and other relatives that would come to see me when I went home.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess he just sensed that he wasn't a good enough man for me. And in the end, he wasn't.
In hindsight, of course, you know, you love your children, you had your children, but would you have picked somebody different if you could do it over?
Of course.
Well, some people wouldn't. They said, no, my life is my life.
No way, yes,
Okay.
I would have, yes. Yes.
How long were y'all officially together?
15 years.
15 years, okay. And so talk more, because, you know, I have I don't know if you're familiar, but, like, a lot of people my age and even younger around that time, a lot of people talk, yeah, I miss when relationships, how they were back in the day. Like, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, this and that. And I always say, like, I feel like it's a delusion of, like, no, I feel a lot of relationships back then were dysfunctional and had a bunch of issues, whatever. But it's a facade that people put up. What did your take on that?
They were, but they just didn't want people to know. They did a lot of pretending, and I knew that. And I also did the same thing because I didn't want my dad, after he didn't want me to marry him, and I didn't want him to know that my marriage was actually that bad. I used to put on when I went home and come back on 95, coming back to Philly, raising holy hell with him. But yes, if I had to do it over, I would have married another guy, but he's dead now too.
All right.
Some guy that I was going with in high school.
Ah, what was his name?
Leonard Franklin Hall.
Okay.
Yeah, related to the Watkins on the other side.
Alberta Hall.
Yeah.
Had a ring to it.
But I am kind of glad because he got married and had 8 children.
Too much for you?
Too many. Yes.
Did you always want to have children? Like, you always wanted to have? Did you
A
see
girl and a
yourself?
boy.
2. Okay.
I wanted 2, girl and a boy, opposite sex. And
so-
after I had the girl, I prayed to the Lord for that boy, and I should have left him where he was. But children are fun. Yeah, they are. And when they're smaller, they're better, though, than when they
What's
grow
the
up.
best window of age? The best, like, age frame?
Oh,
toddlers
from day 1 to 1 year old.
Oh,
Once they
okay.
turbo 2s and on, forget it.
Downhill?
Yes,
Okay.
and they know it because people say turbo 2s and they shouldn't, but they really rub that in.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Once you guys broke up, did you and your dad have, like, a conversation? Did he say something like, I told you so, or anything like that?
Of course he did. Yes, he did. And I cried. Yes. But it was a long time before he knew. Because I kept it a secret. I moved with my aunt, and I told her, don't tell Daddy, and I didn't want to. I was saving up money to get myself together first. And he found out by calling. The telephone was off. Yeah.
How long before you knew, you think? Before he knew, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh, about 2 months.
Okay.
Yeah, about 2 months.
Was it like, what were, like, some of your emotions or thoughts, like, once it was, like, really ending? Was it like,
Thank God.
oh, you was more so relieved? Like,
Yes,
okay.
and people had told me, you and those 3 little children, we would help you more, but you had that man there. He wasn't no good. We knew that. But once I got myself together and got my divorce from him, and he paid for it, I felt so much better. A lot of people was helping me. Blessings was coming from everywhere. Really.
How you think your life would have been different if y'all stayed together?
Oh my God, I probably wouldn't be here talking today. Because he did try to kill me. I don't know if you knew that.
Fairly.
Okay, I was in bed, laying down, and he came home mad with his woman, wrapped my head up in the cover, and thank God for Uncle Charlie. He came in and grabbed him off of me. He was just choking me.
This is in Virginia?
No.
Uncle Charlie came up here?
Uncle Charlie used to stay here.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay. All my brothers stayed with me.
Oh, okay.
Yes, he came. He didn't like the city. And he moved back and he told me, come back home. And I didn't.
You never wanted to go back?
No. I wouldn't live in Virginia if rent was free. I love the city. I love the city. Okay. It's corner stores and more convenient. You know, you have to get in the car, you know, to go
you don't gotta tell me.
And by the time we get to town, we forgot what we were going for if we didn't have a note.
How was that like one of the ultimate breaking points of? I know he did hit you multiple times, but was that incident one of the breaking points of?
Yes, absolutely. And I got myself together and made up my mind that I was definitely gonna get rid of him, and I did. But before I did, I scalded him to death, almost to death. Yeah, I had the kettle on and the water was boiling, and I said, Lord, please don't let him come when it's empty. Let it be hot. And sure enough, he did. And he opened the door, and I just poured the water on him. And his face peeled all down. Yes. And he told people on the job that his radiator boiled over.
I can see that a lot. I can see that.
Yeah, boiled over and scalded him. And I said, I'm a radiator, huh? Because the guy came back and told me.
I told him, yeah, so whatever happened with the radiator?
Yeah. The radiator left him.
What do you feel like some of his... Do you feel he just had issues, or like what do you think his issues were?
He was running women. And I couldn't do anything to please him because I wasn't doing the type of things that the women in the street did for him. Yeah, that's what it was. And she called me and told me, come and get your husband. I says, no, you can have him because I'm getting rid of him.
And to be honest, Mama, like, because I've always knew of your history, I feel like it gave me that realization. So I said back to that point of like back then relationships are better. Of course, everybody didn't have the torment that you went through and those type of dynamics. But I feel like generally men had more entitlement and ego back then than they did. They felt like I felt like a lot of men back then felt like they owned women and they ran their household. Women had no say.
No say.
Yeah, so I feel like knowing that, it always gave me like whenever I heard the point, I'm like, no, like a lot of stuff back then was dysfunctional and volatile to say the least, and not healthy. Like you know.
And then went to church and jumped and shouted just like they was next to God. Yeah.
So when you say you was relieved, was it also a sense of like worry and just like how I'm gonna figure this stuff out now?
No, because people had told me, and then I had people that actually came to me and would slip me money and stuff, which helped me because I wasn't working. James was only 3 months when I left him, so I couldn't really go to work and leave him with anybody because I didn't know what they would be doing to him. And my aunt that I live with, play aunt, Aunt Gigi, she had to work. And matter of fact, she was working 2 jobs. She was a single parent. So I had to get myself together and, go for myself.
Was it ever a sense of thinking to go back?
No way.
A lot of women, they relapse.
Yeah, I know they do. Not this one. I was glad. I was so glad. I just didn't want no more arguing and fussing and all that because I've been through all that with the kids. And hopefully, that everything would work out okay. But I knew if I stayed with him, I wasn't going to live. Because he always went for my head. Always hit me in my head.
Did you ever feel y'all ever had a window of time when y'all was more so happy than unhappy?
Yes, when I after I was first married and before Velma was born.
How long was that?
Velma, I got married, December the 15th. Let's say 19...
I mean, was it like a year or two before she was born?
Oh, yeah, a couple years.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't get pregnant right away.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Speaking, and more so about the South, what was like, any experience? Cause I know Uncle Charlie was killed. He wasn't killed by the KKK, but he was killed by black people, right? KKK? Okay, so what was speak more on that, and like what was some of like your experiences with the South and racism and growing up in that time?
Well,
some of the thoughts that you had.
Well, the whites stayed to themselves and we stayed to ours. A lot of prejudice. And we had a yellow school bus. They had a yellow one, but blacks and whites. We wasn't mixed. 1968, I remember well because that's the year Uncle Joe graduated, and he had whites in his class. When I graduated, all blacks. Yeah, but Charlie, Uncle Charlie, he sang with the group gospel, and he was always doing something good and helping people and volunteering and doing good things. He was the best child my mom had. He was, really. And they just called him Mr. Goody, what is it, Goody Two-Shoe and all that. And he put his family first. He was excellent. He worked from 7 a.m. until 3. He took Dietrich, your cousin, to the babysitter and picked her up in the afternoon. His wife worked from 8 to 4. When she got home, her dinner was fixed. All she had to do was pull her shoes off, relax, and play with the baby and eat.
King. Okay.
Yes, Uncle Charlie did that. And at the age of 26, he bought his first home. And when I was 26, I wasn't thinking about a home. Trying to get out of there.
And what was the incident when he ended up getting killed?
He sang that night, and no, he sang a couple nights before then because it was Christmas Eve. This is his anniversary coming up, Christmas Eve. I remember well, December 24th, 1971. He was going to his Christmas party. And but Thanksgiving back, what happened, he got in an argument with some guys because they was bothering him and messing with him and saying, oh, you're the good man, you do this for your wife, and you pick up the baby and all that. You can't socialize with us. On Fridays, the guys would hang out and drink and do. My brother didn't drink. So he said, why should I hang out with you all? And my brother made a mistake, and he said, you all are nothing but trash. And the guy didn't like it. And he said, we're going to get you. So they got him on December the 24th on his way to his Christmas party. His wife took the baby inside the house to her mother, her mom's house, which was the baby's grandparents. And when they went in, bang, 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 everybody ran back out. And it was Uncle Charlie slumped over the wheel of his car. He was in the car waiting for her to come back out.
Did you have any certain like encounters like that, or incidents, or experiences, or, like trauma like that?
No.
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 Do you feel you have like a colorist complex?
No.
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 At all?
No. No, because I had nice, you mean white people?
No, I'm talking about colorist as in like, you have certain, you have a color thing. You make, you say light skin stuff, dark skin stuff. You call me darky all the time.
I do
not.
You're darker than your dad and I. That's a joke. That's a joke.
Of course. But do you feel, if just coming from that time, you were affected in any way? Like,
Not really. Not really, no, because it's nothing, we could do about it. It was done. And Daddy kept talking to us because Uncle Joe wanted to go look him up and kill him, But he had KKK all over his car, scratched in there like we get scratches here. KKK is watching you and all that kind of stuff. But it was a mess. But it passed. It passed, yeah.
Did you ever, thinking back to that moment or even before that, what did you think of the future of our country? What do you think it will, black versus white relations? What do you think will become? Did you see what would it be now? Did you think that, or did you ever think about it?
Not really, and especially after we had the black president, I thought.
Did you ever think you would see that?
Not really. Not before he became one, no. I really didn't. No, I really didn't. And I said, if my dad had saw it, I guess he'd had a heart attack. He would have been happy, but that's what I mean, overjoyed.
Back then, did you have like any? Because how old were you? You're right. Yeah. Did you have any like investment or connection to Martin Luther King back then, or Malcolm X, any of those type of people? No.
No.
How about JFK? Did you care when he died?
I cried all day. We shared the same birthday. And I was watching my soaps and it came on. I said, oh my God. I said, he can't die. He's the president of the United States. Yeah, that was a mess. And I really liked him because that was the first president I ever voted for. JFK.
But not Martin Luther King, do you remember that day?
Martin Luther King, where was I here? I was here because my car wouldn't start. I burnt the lights because of him, and then I got mad because the car wouldn't start. My husband was giving me hell about that. Yeah, because I was burning the lights because of King, yeah.
What you mean? Burning lights.
Lights on because he got killed.
Mm-hmm.
So we was riding around with our lights on, headlights on, burning the headlight. And I left him on and went into the doctor's. Not overnight, during the day. And the car wouldn't start.
Gotcha.
And I had to call him and get help. Big dummy, turning the lights on.
Another thing I've talked about here before of like, I don't really care you definitely are a person I know that you care a lot about, your past history, your lineage, your family tree. And me, I don't as much.
No.
I feel like I feel like my connection to you is pretty much all I really value or care about.
That's
whatever.
Not nice.
Not that nothing before me doesn't matter, but because some people say if you don't know your past, you don't know who you are or your future.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really believe that.
No, that's not true.
You don't believe that?
No, that's not true.
Okay. But you feel, but you're at the same time.
You've been around people, us to know, and family to know who's who, and your best interest and all that, type stuff. You know that.
But I feel like you're in a sense you naturally, for lack of a better term, enjoy like history and knowing who's who and knowing what happened. Yeah,
because my mom died. And mothers are the one usually tell you those things. So my mom's sister, Aunt Cisa, the only aunt that's living now, she helps me out a lot and tell me things. And I didn't even know. My dad never told me why my mother died. My Aunt Cisa had to tell me.
Was he just not like the vocal?
She just died. She's dead. That's it. But what caused her death?
Right. But did he deal with most things like that? Just not really expounding?
No, he doesn't. No, not to us anyway. That's why I said I miss my mother more than I did him. But he did the best job that he could do, being a man and working and taking care of 4 little kids, That sense, I see that. But,
describe your mom. How was your relationship?
Well, I was 9 years old. She was just mama, fixing the food, fixing my clothes, combing my hair.
You was the favorite, right?
3. No.
No?
Joe.
I mean, out of you and Francis, right now?
I don't know. I guess because I stayed there and Francis stayed with grandparents,
right.
That's why. But Joe was her favorite.
The baby.
The baby, yes.
Okay.
She used to be doing work with Joe on her hip.
Wait, how'd she die?
She died of another...
I thought she died giving birth.
Another boy.
Oh, it wasn't Joe?
No.
Oh, I've always thought that.
No, see? Another boy. 42. Pregnant.
When did she have Joe? Like how
He was 3 years old.
Okay, so when she was 39.
And my kids are 3 years apart.
Okay. Looking back, would you have did anything differently raising your kids?
Oh, yeah, especially after Stuffy. I would. But it takes money, They had money.
Sure.
But if I really had the money to do, I would have put them in better day. Well, they didn't go to daycare. And the daycare, that was good. Checked out to make sure everything was good with them. And then I could have went to work and probably got a better job, than I got because I went to do domestic work because when at the end of the day I got paid and I needed that money, to help feed the kids. Yeah, I would do things different, but it takes money, and that I didn't have, and he would waste his on women.
So you always knew he was just cheating?
Yeah.
But you just accepted it?
Come home, because of the kids. You stay there as long as you can. You want the kids to know their father. Come home with lipstick on his clothes. What are you looking at it for? It's not your shade. Yeah, he was a mess.
And it's funny because I was having a conversation with someone, and I was like, well, I'll get to that later. But how about, well, actually, no. So I was telling someone, I feel like, again, because I knew vaguely for the most part of the history, that I grew up just naturally not really caring about him at all, not really having a relationship. I just never had no
Because of your mom, too?
For sure. So because of history, because how my mom carried her energy position, I never really cared. So I think it's interesting when I hear about certain people, when they constantly try to build connections with people, knowing the type of character of people they are. But it ain't, like, he never even did nothing to me personally, but I just didn't care. Like, no, you did certain things I hear about. My mom said this. Fuck you. I don't really care. It's like, he's dead to me forever type thing.
But you take after your dad. That's how your dad is. Happy-go-lucky.
The funny thing is, I feel him and my mom are both alike, just in different ways, though.
Really?
Like, I feel like they will both do that same thing, but just differently. My dad will be like, I don't care, I'm over it.
No.
Relax. And my mom would be like, they both would say you're dead to me, but they'll just go about it in different ways, though. Okay. I feel they both had that ability to just cut it off. Okay. And just like that, whatever. And I feel the same with, like, my cousins. I tell people, we don't have the relationship we once have. And I don't have, like, the love.
Well, everybody grow up and, go their ways and do different things. And certain things they do that you don't like. And that's one reason,
But I feel it's also because, of course, everybody grow apart and things change. But I feel like certain bonds are broken because of certain things I heard they've done with you and to you, whatever. And again, never done nothing to me. Okay. But when I hear about certain things, behaviors and stuff, it's like I just can't we just can't be connected anymore or whatever. Like I just can't really go back from that.
Don't be like that.
I know actually, Reese, I've been thinking about not doing it, but it's hard for me to break out of it.
Well, as often as you come together, family dinners or picnics or what have you,
we don't come together no more.
Huh?
We don't come together no more.
No?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Everybody used to be at Chris's house for the Thomas' birthday. Maybe at a different time. They come by.
Yeah, different times.
Yeah.
How about religion? Were you always just religious? Did you always have a connection to the church?
Of course. Your great-grandfather was a preacher, and we had to go to church. James Anderson Lester.
That sounds familiar.
Huh?
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, James Anderson Lester, that's Granddaddy Rap's father. Mm-hmm. And we had to go to church, and certain things we couldn't do on Sundays. Oh, God. Thomas is doing it. Jerry's doing it. I don't care about them. You're my children, and I'm not Jerry's parents. Mm-hmm. We couldn't play ball on Sunday. We had to sit down and do Bible verses or what have you. But it was good, and I'm glad because some of those registered in my head still today, and I'm happy. Mm-hmm. I'm really happy about that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Some of them got me through some of my bad times, too. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you feel like your relationship, has it ever wavered with God or with Christianity?
Oh, yeah, when I was cursing and carrying on with him and all. But I know he forgave me because he helped me get over it, and I'm still here, and he's gone, and he looked out for me and put a lot of people in my life that helped me, mm-hmm. and that's a blessing. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you feel like everybody in the world should be Christian?
Do I feel like everybody? No, I don't. If they don't want to be, mm-hmm. No, I would never push it on anybody.
You're not pushing, but you think they just should, though.
Well, I think they really should know something about the Lord. You too. Yeah.
Yeah, you used to always damn me when I was younger.
About what?
Being a heathen. and me and Lena not going to church and stuff. Oh, yeah.
Because you could go and do everything else, and you should give God some time. Mm. You should. He enabled you to do this. Yeah. So you should give him some time. I didn't say every day, every Sunday, because I'm not doing it anymore either because I'm not happy with my pastor right now. Mm-hmm. But I give him time, and I do my daily word every single day. And if I miss a day, I'll catch up the next day. Mm-hmm. And that's all that matters. As long as you have something in your heart. Church is not everything.
Mm-hmm. I never understood why, of course, your relationship with God and relationship with church are two different things. But I never understood why you always stay connected to the church with the complaints of the pastor.
No, that's the reason I visit and visit other churches. I go to Pastor Parker's and all around. Mm-hmm. But some associate ministers, other preachers come in and preach, and I go.
Gotcha.
Like he went out in the afternoon. He was over by your mom's, Jackie's church,
mm-hmm.
Over there. What is it?
Wayne Ave.
Wayne Avenue. They went Sunday. I don't follow him because when he goes out, he's going to preach. But Sunday we had a visitor. I went to church.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And I like that. And then there's another reason, because his granddaughter is my godchild, and that's sad. I hold on to that. But she doesn't even go. Mm-hmm. I mean, she's in college right now, but the mother, right. Samantha, said if he wasn't her father, she would never go.
Typical.
Mm-hmm.
How about, so back to the being a parent and stuff. So besides, you say you would do possibly, daycare and stuff like that, is there anything else in regards to, in hindsight, being a parent, you could have did, different approaches, or how do you feel you were as a mom? You feel great mom could have did better?
Well, I could have done better, like I said. But
besides the money thing, of course, anybody can have more money.
We need, but because they could get better, better education if I had the money. I would send them to, better schools and all,
Mm-hmm.
But I did the best I could and let them, go in the neighborhood. But your mom, she was always a go-getter. She was in the neighborhood and they called me. I said, oh God, who did she kill now?
Mm-hmm.
And they was going to send her to Overbrook to the Magna Music program, So that was a blessing. And James was good, the class clown in school. And those days I could go and walk into the school, which I did. And he was sitting where you put your books and his feet in his seat,
Mm-hmm.
playing, so people could dance, cutting up.
Mm-hmm.
And I grabbed him and turned him every which way but loose. 2 weeks he was on honor roll.
Mm.
So it was in him, but he just was playing around because of his associates.
Mm-hmm.
That's why.
All right. What was
But I gave them everything I could give them. That they got everything that they needed.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't get all their wants, but they got their needs.
Mm-hmm.
And when they went back to school in September, that's when I started picking up stuff and getting sale stuff. And when Christmas came, they had their stuff just like everybody else.
Yeah, I be saying that about my mom. That's one thing she get mad that I say. I've said that my whole life. Of course, I got stuff periodically throughout the year.
That's what she
But I
believed
got
in.
the bulk of it at my birthday in June and Christmas in December.
Uh-huh.
And but in her mind, what she says, her recollection, you got everything whenever.
Everything.
I'm like, no, and I never felt like I was without, but I knew sometimes I probably have to wait till June or wait till December. But by the end of the year, I got everything for the most part that I wanted throughout the year.
Yeah.
But she like, no, if you wanted it, you just got it then.
No, she you did.
Yeah, right? Yeah, she ain't gonna like hearing that though, but it's
Well,
true.
it's true.
Right? Yeah, she don't know nothing. Do you, does it, with Unc's situation, and dealing with what happened with him being in the streets and stuff like that, whatever. Well, first, before we get to that, what happened with him and Velma and stuff like that, what was your thoughts on that at the time, and, how my mom's feelings about how it was a disconnect from that? Did that, hurt you, and how that
Of course it hurt me because they were my children, but I just thank God there was a 9, 10, and 11.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm glad that he was old and his sins was on himself.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad I wasn't involved in it.
Mm-hmm.
Because some mothers get involved in all that
For
stuff.
sure.
And I'm glad I didn't have the jacuzzi and a carpet this thick because they told me when they came to the house that if I had that, when they hit the door, they said, we're locking it up and you getting out and you're not getting anything. I said, well, come right on in, help thyself.
Mm.
And the reason they came to my house was because of Antoinette.
Mm-hmm.
She told them.
Mm-hmm. Did you, cause I know again, my mom and Velma, they didn't talk for years. Did you ever have some resentment or anger towards Velma?
Yes, because she was so slick. I didn't even know she was in it like that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. But like I said, she was grown again. There was nothing I could do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad it was just them.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't involved in it. That's what I'm happy about.
Right, so you was like, I'm out of it.
I'm out of it.
And
It's
I deal
on
with
them.
it is what it
Right. And they grown and they knew better.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said I'm glad there wasn't 9 or 10 or 11 like some of these little kids today and taking guns, to school and all. I thank God for that.
And to be honest, that was another thing I held on to, and I couldn't escape it for a long time. Cause I remember the time, cause I was, around when I was 10 or stuff, and I remember my mom intentionally not talking to Velma in that whole gap of time of years or whatever. So then once she got sick and stuff, we started coming around, stuff like that. I was never able to get out of it though. I'm just
No?
I wasn't. I was never able to go back on it. I just felt like, that action happened and there's no taking it back in a sense.
No.
You often think about Unc not getting out of jail?
I'm thinking that he is going to get out.
That's what you choose. That's what you think about.
Yeah,
more so?
I'm naming it and claiming that he's coming out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm naming it and claiming it that he will because Omar said everything looks good. We're just waiting for the black judge to get everything and read it. It's on her desk now. We're just waiting, and I do believe he's gonna come out. I do.
Okay.
Cause he didn't do everything they said he did,
Of course not.
but they put stuff on him, because he didn't want to talk because he was afraid they were going to do something to me or his children.
How about your grandkids? You know, I am one. What was like did you because you had your first one, you was 50? How old were you had your first grandchild?
Chrissy?
Yeah.
I don't know, baby. She's 30.
Whatever.
She's 32, and I'm 77.
50 something. No, 40, I don't know, 47, I think. But were you did you always was that like an exciting time for you to have your first grandchild? Like, was it kind of similar to having your first child, or like your thoughts were like
No
differences?
way. It was better with my grandchild.
Better?
I could love her and leave her, take her back, but I kept her for just about 6 months. Because Velma said Velma wasn't ready. We planned to have this kid, but she wasn't ready to have the kid. The kid's crying. I'm calling Velma. Your child is crying. So I had to help get her together and all, especially until the formula was over. And then after that, she could give her cold milk or whatever.
Yeah.
Bless her heart.
Did you have like a newer sense of like urgency or like anything different once more grandkids are coming? Did you start feeling like your position in the family was different? You start feeling you had to do things differently or more? I know you're just the same.
No, just love them all and do whatever I could do for them, especially Tia and Nettie, because the mother told me to my face she didn't want them. And they was innocent. And my son said they was his, so, I had to help out the best I could. That's why I did that, and with his help. But that was it.
I'm your favorite, right?
I don't have a favorite. TC is my favorite.
It's not the right answer. I mean, we know he's the favorite now, the great grand, but holding it down for decades before he got here.
My first grandson, I flew to San Diego to see him, and I took him to KFC, and he wanted a chicken leg at 3 months.
Sounds about right. Yeah, that sounds about right there, yeah. Do you know my, arguably my favorite memory and also my favorite trip ever?
Going to Virginia to see Granddaddy.
No.
No?
No, not even close.
Okay.
Orlando.
When all of us went?
Yeah.
That was nice, yes.
One of my favorite trips.
That was nice.
Also we saw the family start, separate in a sense, whatever. Did that bother you at all? Did that ever stand out to you once years later? Of course.
Because I loved it when you went on a prom and everybody would come. And I love everybody around. And I fix whatever everybody wants. My house is a restaurant. What your favorite dishes, everybody got that. And I love doing that. I love fixing stuff for my grandkids. Yes, I do.
Did you ever feel like, outside of just, not liking it, did you ever feel like things would change, or did you feel like you should do certain things, or you feel like, no, it is what it is?
Grow up and get your own place and invite me to your apartment.
Which I do.
Well, yeah, I know. But I'm saying that's good. Yeah, I would love to see the day that they would grow up and everybody have their own place.
Okay.
Yes.
My dad, y'all have a very tight-knit, weird relationship to a lot of people outside.
Weird?
Yeah, a lot of people say it's weird when I tell people about it.
Really?
I think it's weird. They're like, well, so your dad, after they still communicate, he sleep on her couch?
Yes, come to my house anytime. He's welcome. Yeah.
You still mad? I'm sorry, not sleep on the couch. He sleep in your guest room bed. He sleep on my couch, but he come to my place. You still think that's so blasphemy?
It's terrible.
He was comfortable.
And
anyway.
He's only here for a little while, Q. That's terrible. You give your dad your best. He would give you his best. And if you need him and call him, you get it. And you know that.
He got the couch. If I had that anyway, moving on. Did you always like my dad? Do you remember the first time you met him?
Oh, yes. Mustang. Yeah, you was a baby, yeah. Yes.
There was no red flag like with Ralph? You thought he was a good man?
He was a good man. And he took care of you. And that's all that matters. And he gave you everything you wanted. Both need and want. And that's a good man. Yes. From day one.
Did you always foresee our relationship being as it is right now? Or you just never thought about it, just end up being what it is?
Who?
You and his relationship.
Just end up like that, and with him coming here, and Lena didn't like it because she felt like he should stay in a hotel. Why should she stay in a hotel when he was going to give her the money for you anyway? And I have a house. No, I enjoyed that. And I like to feed him because you could just fix him food, you know that. Oatmeal, spaghetti, and greens, and he's happy. Don't have to fix everything every day. I mean, different thing. That's what I like about it.
He eat the same thing for 14 days straight.
And so would I. I love it. Yeah, I love that. You too?
Yeah, I eat the same thing forever.
Excuse me.
As long as I like it.
Yeah, right. But he loved that.
And also, how about this? So, like, another thing my mom always told me my whole life was she appreciated as she got older, because you feel a lot of parents or moms, once they go through something with, like, a bad husband or, bad man, she feel they make the mistake by slandering that father to the kids and, like skewing the perception of the father.
I used to do that.
You did do that? But real quick, she said she gives you credit ultimately. She said she felt like you didn't do that though for the most part.
That I didn't?
Yeah, she said you let them make their own perception of him. Whatever.
Oh, yes, and when we went to court and all, the judge told me, he had to see them, and none of them wanted to go. They all was crying, but he said they had to because he was taking care of them. Mm-hmm. He quit his job so he wouldn't have to take care of them, and that's why I went to work, like I said, so I could get the money. But I wanted them to know who their father was. Mm-hmm. Some kids don't know who their father is, and that's sad to me. Mm-hmm. Everybody should know. They could grow up and date their brother or sister. They don't know. Mm-hmm. But I wanted them, like I said. And Lena it didn't make her no different in the way her head was stuck in a book. She wasn't paying attention to him. Mm-hmm. But Velma, oh my gosh, she loved the grand. Her father walked them. And Jane, I want my mommy. I don't want to go.
Why do you feel that Velma end up falling into the same pattern that her dad was like with her husband?
Well, I told her too because I knew he was smoking pot. Mm-hmm. And I didn't want that around Chrissy. And I said, Velma, he's going to beat you up because he's going to come in there high and he want money. And he did. He took Chrissy's money. She went to Catholic school, you knew that. Mm-hmm. And he took her tuition. And Chrissy Velma placed it back.
That sounds like crack. Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But you always saw it, though?
Yes. Mm-hmm. And he never could open his eyes up wide. Mm-hmm. Always standing like this, blinking his eyes.
But also what I was saying, though, like, I feel like the same thing that you went through, she ended up going through.
Yeah.
And why do you think she fell into that pattern, though?
Because that's what she's seen, and that's the way we did. Mm-hmm. And at first, I guess she says okay.
It's normal.
But her father drank, and her husband smoked. Mm-hmm. And then Faith went there one time to see Velma, and she said if she ever go back there again, she was going to turn him in. I said, well, go back again and turn him in.
But I think it's interesting just how, all three kids reacted differently. She ended up finding a man like that. My mom ended up vowing to never deal with someone like that. And Uncle became a mixture of it, kind of, whatever. But even though she saw it, ultimately you left, though. So I think it's interesting that part didn't click enough, that this isn't normal, or I would have stayed as well.
Yeah.
Eventually they broke up, though, I guess, so, but...
Yep, she did. She left him, went to the house and
right. Do you feel you have any flaws?
I know I do. We all do.
Like what? Like character or personality? Like what?
Sometimes I doesn't practice what I preach, and I know that I say one thing and I do another. But on the other hand, most of the time I'm almost perfect.
No, okay.
Almost perfect most of the time because I want people to treat me the way I treat them. Mm-hmm. That's why I try to do different little things. I say I'm not going to do it again, and I go right on and do it because it's the right thing to do. Mm-hmm. And that's that Christ-like in me. Mm-hmm. That's what it is. But yeah, we all have flaws. Have
you always been the type, I feel, you have this keen ability or instinct that most people don't have, that you can talk to anybody under any conditions?
Yeah.
You've always been like that?
Always. Even as a little girl.
Just spark a conversation with anybody.
Yeah. And your mother always said, you talk to a dog, won't you, Mom? But I do, and I like I said, I like for people to do that to me. Mm-hmm. Either just speak, like people sitting on the porch. Lena sit out there and read a book all day. Lady across the street said she spoke to her 3 times. Lena said she wasn't paying no attention. She's in her book. I go out there with my book. I read a little bit when nobody's around, and I look up to see, my surroundings. She just bird in there. But she's always been like that since she was 9.
Another funny thing I told people about, right? So I never forget, you invited us all over for dinner a couple years ago. I came in and I see an old man in the house. And you're like, hey, everybody, this is Joseph. And I was like, what the hell is a Joseph? And it just blew me away. I'm just like, my mom's still dating?
Yes,
like,
I'm dating now as well.
So you still out here in these streets?
I'm never going to be alone, okay? I need a companion.
That was news to me. I was like, wow, at this point, wow. Because I just never thought about it.
Because it's my mama.
Yeah.
Yeah, mama's human.
For sure.
And mama loved people. But he wasn't the right type for me. And I found it out.
He was cheap, right?
Cheap is dirt.
Yeah, cheap is dirt.
Asked to use my charge card. And my brother Joe said, Bert, your head is a rock head. I let him use it. And then I had to ask him for the money.
He gave it back?
Gave it back. But 2 weeks later, he asked for it again. And I said, no. And you get your walking papers now. You're supposed to be helping me, not bringing me down. And he said he was going to sell his house and move in. I said, over my dead body.
He really going to be begging now.
Over my dead body. So I got rid of him. No hard feelings. I just say it's not working and you're bringing me down.
Gotcha.
I can do bad by myself.
Did you ever think about like getting, cause you only be technically married once, right?
You can marry many times as you want.
No, I'm saying you've been technically married once.
One. Oh, right. Yes.
Did you ever think about seriously getting married again?
No, I don't want to get married again, but I just like a companion.
No, of course not now. I mean, like even all these past years since Alfonso.
Oh, no.
You never thought I'd get married?
No way.
Oh.
And it's sad because people I meet, they said, all of the men are not like Alfonso. I just didn't want to even get into it because I was afraid that it would happen the same way again. And I know I would commit suicide.
Or kill him.
Huh?
Or kill him.
Myself.
I said, or kill him.
Okay, yes. Yes.
Okay. Interesting. Cause, you know, I think, of course, I don't know anything about aging for them, really. But I think about, like, how I feel about, you know, being old or, you know, wanting a companion. Or some people really like being alone, though. They like, no, I'm
like my free time, but I like to go to the movie and do different little things sometimes. They pay for it. Yeah.
Oh, that's what they're really there for? They pay for it.
First was love. Alfonso didn't work, so now it's money.
You gotta switch up your approach.
First come love, and next come
but that Joseph thing was funny to me. I was like, wow, it was really blew my mind. I'm like,
oh God.
No, you know what really did it though, my mom? When you put his picture up. That's when I was just blown away. I'm like, that's one thing.
A group of us.
Of you?
At mommy, at your mother's thing. That's the one I put up.
No, y'all had a group picture, and then he had a solo picture.
No.
Yes, he did. And I was like, wait a minute now. This is going way too far.
Come on, Q.
He did.
I don't have no picture of me and him by ourselves. Never. We went to your mother's.
He had a picture on the floor. He's by himself in it. In a frame. Looking real cool. Like he just came from like a Steve Harvey cruise or something. Like.
I don't know about that one, baby. Okay. It's in the trash now,
Gotcha.
I'm sure.
That's what I meant. It's in the past. Gotcha.
Okay.
Another thing I've always noticed about you, I don't understand. I feel like you're a professional funeral goer. Do you feel like you go through how many funerals do you go to in a year?
Oh my Lord, maybe 100.
And I just be like, and you be like, and it's every time I come to see you, no matter what, it's going to happen. Q. Or, you know, you call me 10 names first. 10 in the wrong names for things like Q. Like Q.
Thomas told me that too. Mama, I'm not Q.
You be like, do you remember Bobby that was your mom's neighbor, next door classmate, uncle, stepdad, mom's daughter, preacher that married his sister, stepdad's niece?
Too many.
And I be like, no. Never. I don't know these people. Well, they died yesterday. You know, pancreatic cancer. They're fighting for 17 years. And I'm like, I don't know these people. And I feel like you barely know them, but you always go to the funerals.
I have to.
Why?
Because I have to show my support to the family. I have to. Yeah, I feel like I should.
So, you think you go like under 50 or over 50?
I really go to about 50, baby.
50 in a year?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. And have you always been like that?
Yep, all my life.
Do you often think about, your funeral and the day you die?
Yep.
Like, what about it? Is it like a fear or like a readiness or?
I need the spectrum for everybody to come.
So that's why you paying your dues. So when it's ever my time, y'all bring it all back.
Yes.
Is it any type of fear or nervousness of dying?
You know what? That's funny because sometimes it is, but when Velma passed and so peaceful, I just said I just like to go in my sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be in an accident. I mean, it's not up to me, but I don't want to be tore up or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just fall asleep and go, but no fear. Because
Gotcha.
we got to die.
Mm-hmm. Has it changed as you've gotten older?
Hmm?
Has your attitude?
Oh yes, yeah.
When you was younger, it was more.
I didn't think about it.
Oh, you didn't think about it? Okay.
Yes, I did. When my brother died, when somebody in the family close died, you're thinking,
Gotcha.
Look in the casket, flashback, and I said, oh, one day I got to do that,
Mm-hmm.
and all, yeah.
Yeah, I remember one time years ago, me, my mom, and somebody else, we was together, maybe even Velma actually, and they got a call that he was in a car accident. And that was one of the scariest ones of my life. And I don't know why. I just thought of that. I get it from Lena. I think about the absolute worst of everything or whatever. They said, Mom was in an accident. She's in the hospital. And he was totally fine. Nothing happened to you. But I'm just like...
I just went to get checked out at the Lincoln.
Yeah. But I was like, oh, my God, it's over. My mom was gone. I was just devastated, like in the backseat. I remember vividly. I was just devastated. But, yeah. But, another thing I've always recognized about myself is that, fortunately, I never dealt with like anybody truly close to me dying. So, but then I also think
you wasn't old enough. Your grandparents died, but you were. Excuse me.
Right. But then I think about whenever that day comes, how it will how it will hit me though, because like you said, once things happen to you, it registers. But if it never happened to you, then it's like
That's right.
Yeah, so I think about that. I also I feel like even when you deal with death is kind of weird. Do you think that?
No, because I know somebody that takes everything from me. See, that's where God come in at.
What you mean?
I don't have to worry or cry or hoop and holler because he takes care of all that. And we got to die. And Cousin Ruth was shaking me. Velma, Dad, cry if you want. I had nothing to cry for. I'm glad she was gone. No more suffering. Mom, I can't breathe. No more dragging that tank around. She was pitiful. So I didn't have anything to be sad for.
How about
my brother's funeral? And I said to him, why you have to die December 24th on Christmas Eve? I spent every dime I had. And that's another reason I got away from Christmas presents. Because of his death. I just learned different things from different people's funeral. But Christmas Eve, that's why I just cook a big dinner. And I don't, give a whole lot of stuff. I pay my bills. Because I don't want the new year to come in with me owing all those bills.
How about when your dad died? Was that any different?
Nope. No different. I just Joe took care of everything, and when I didn't have much to do, I bought a flower, and my boss gave me all the money, and that was a good thing. I didn't have to get up off and a dime just to go down.
Okay.
So, and then Dad, he was in the hospital. I didn't go. Lena and Joe went, and they said he was in bed. I didn't even want to see him like that. Just remember him how he was.
What was I about to say? So, I remember another pivotal moment I feel like in our relationship was when you got your knee replacement. And I was like, another thing I've always been fortunate and recognized I've been fortunate that you're my grandma, but you always been spry like my whole life. Never had any type of issues. So to see you, disabled and me helping you get back to yourself, whatever, with our workouts. That was a different type of feeling at the time. Like, so was there ever like, what was going on through your mind back then? Was there ever like, am I ever gonna be able to were you nervous at all? Or?
No, everything was good. I just got upset after the healing process,
they did it wrong.
And they put it in too large. That's the only thing that bothered me. But not as much for me to go back in and let them do it again, because if I go back in, I have to take the lawyer in the operating room with me, and it's not worth all that. It's not worth all that money. I just have to put up with it the best I can, And like I said, it's good now. But I don't know, maybe I have to do it over 10 years.
Speaking of 10 years, so again, I know you say you want to die in your sleep per se, but do you think about like how old you would want to age? Does that matter at all to you?
Yep, 101.
101?
Like Grandma Ava. My mother's mother, you know, she was 101.
Mm-hmm.
And in my right mind.
Right.
Oh,
That's nothing. So I think like that, where it's like, I have like a fear of aging old. I feel the chances of you not being in your right
Your
mind.
mother used to do that. I'm never getting old. I'm never getting old.
No, she was weird. She was a vampire with him. Now, I know I'm getting old, but I have a fear of it. I'm like, I just want to make sure I'm able to move, you know, think clearly. You know, that's what I think.
Well, that's important. That's great.
Yeah.
That's good.
But, what it, you know, like I said, like, you know, you've always did anything I've ever, for the most part, asked you for. You always been there for me. What has been your thoughts of me as I've aged and grown up? Like, anything particular? Anything's changed or?
You grew up to be a nice young man, Q, and I'm very proud of how you, you know, went to school and got your life together, and you're doing great. I have no complaints with you. You're good.
You remember the one time you beat me?
For what?
So that's a no, you don't remember. I remember.
Because you needed it?
It was traumatizing.
You needed it. I beat you. You needed it. But you know, as a baby, you was a pain in the butt. You know that, right?
Allegedly.
Cried every minute.
Allegedly.
Q was right. And then I want my mom, and your mother left you here with me. Get in the back room, you and Nettie. Do two different tunes. Both of them.
What do you think the afterlife is? If you could describe it or picture it, what do you think it is?
No.
No what?
No, I don't know what it's like.
No idea?
No idea.
Okay.
It's just going to be singing and shouting and praising the Lord. There don't be no boom boom
That's
up
something.
there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. And don't look for Grandma, Lena, and me. Look for Jesus when you get there.
Do you believe that heaven you will see everybody you lost?
I said, I'm not looking for anybody but Jesus. I'm not
But,
looking for my
of course,
kid.
you're not looking for him, but you might run into him.
And I'm going to say, what's up? I don't know about that, Q. People said, but sometimes I think it, you know, I don't know where they go.
Mm-hmm.
Put them in the ground. And they say the day you die, that's when your heart and all go to heaven. I don't know.
We're about time, man.
Oh, okay. Well, like, few minutes or a bunch?
It's 9.
9?
It's 9 right now. You wanna do
Oh,
it
it's
now?
9. Oh, okay, cool. All right, cool. Did you enjoy yourself, Mama?
Yeah, nice.
Good conversation? Like, you think
Good.
you'll come back, you know?
Yeah, 200 again.
400?
400.
Okay, yeah. So, again,
I'll
this,
be here.
the 200th
200
episode.
years.
Yeah, again, if you listen this far, you've been inspired or moved, go talk to, well, you know, you're fortunate to still have your grandma or anybody you feel some type of matriarchal, you know, elder figure, go talk to them, have a conversation, learn something that you may not know or you can never imagine. More importantly, subscribe and share the podcast and the episode. Go listen to the album. You want some good music. We got Fred Hammond on there doing background vocals, Donnie McClurkin. We got some ad-libs from Kirk Franklin. Yeah, it's
Crazy
a good
man.
it's a good mixture. It's a good mixture. He's not talking about porn though. But yeah. Thank you again. I love you.
Love you too.
Appreciate you.
And thanks for having me on.
Thank you for literally making my family and me. But yeah, RightonQuelive, talk about it. We out.